everyone, it's Micah. Welcome to the dawn of a new era on my channel. You may not notice any difference, but starting from this point forward, I'm taking a different, more relaxed approach to the channel. I've spent the first 5 months talking about and acting as if you all were hanging on my every word, and this is the Monday, and this is the Tuesday, and this is and there's not going to be any more of that. I'm going to continue doing the same reaction series I always have, but I'm not going to say, oh look, it's Monday, because I realize that nobody's waiting around at 8 o'clock on Monday night at this point, 5 months in, and just waiting with bated breath for me to post my videos. So I'm going to just start releasing the videos. I'm going to try to keep to a good schedule, but I understand now that y'all don't really care about all that, so I'm just gonna hope that y'all find the videos as I post them, and we'll keep it moving from there. At any rate, you're here to listen to Cher because you saw in the description that this was about Cher. So I guess maybe I decided to share, or maybe overshare with you a little bit. So maybe this is appropriate in a very punny kind of way. So what I believe is that I'm going to start a new era here, and we're going to start that off with the song Believe by Cher. This is part of my series where I'm reacting to all of the Hot 100 number one songs of each calendar year, the year-end number ones. I've worked my way backwards all the way through the 20s and in the 2010s and the aughts. We're now into the 90s. And Believe was the number one song of the last year of the 1900s, and of the, depending on where you do your cutoff, the last year that had a one, that started with a one. We'll put it that way. You can't argue with that. People argue about where the millennium lies, but you can't deny that 1999 was the last year that started with a one. And Cher, fittingly enough, as one of the most gargantuan pop culture figures of our generation, or in the past several generations, the fact that she had the number one song that year seems pretty poetically appropriate. This is the song Believe, and we're going to react to it now. Here goes. What is there to say about this record? Well, turns out I do have a few thoughts on it. Thoughts that I'm sure have been recorded dozens, if not hundreds, if not thousands of times before. But hey, that's what reaction videos are for, right? My first thought on this is what a beautiful, simple, elegant song this is. Contextually, those of us who were around and were listening to music and had been listening to music for some time when this came out, this was a surprising and extraordinary third act for Cher. She first came to prominence in the 60s and 70s with her early run of success with Sunny, TV show, hit records, I Got You, Babe, all that. That's before my time. I didn't know about Cher at that time, and I just kind of was peripherally aware of her. And then in the 80s, she bubbled up again, first with her acting career, which is really my first exposure to her as a child, and then with the resurgence of her her singing career in the late 80s. And she was a force to be reckoned with. She had a 2 or 3 album run where she was popping out the hits left and right, almost I guess like she was in the 70s. And even then, she was considered to be this older artist, this legacy artist who had this wonderful comeback. And famously in the If I Could Turn Back Time video, she appears to have kind of turned back time. She appeared in an incredibly skimpy outfit for a woman of her age, at least at that time. Turns out she wasn't so much older than, like, I would say Nicki Minaj is now, but we have a sort of a different timeline about what we expect of artists at different ages. But she was rocking it for sure. And then she went back sort of into hiding, or a period of less prominence. She did some infomercials and was the butt of some jokes during the 90s, and then she came roaring back in 1999. So this was the third act of her career, at least, when Believe came out, and it became the biggest hit of her career and the biggest song of 99. The simplicity of this song is hard to overstate. And I mean that in the simple elegance of the song is hard to overstate. That's one of the reasons why it worked so well. It cut right through all the noise and really just sort of became an earworm, and not just an annoying earworm, but an earworm that you kind of welcomed into your ear, because it's a good song. It's straight ahead popped craftsmanship. It's just specific enough to be relatable and just generic enough to be universally relatable. There's nothing extremely profound about the lyrics, but there's an air of profundity about them, about the wistfulness and the sort of heartache and the bittersweetness of love that's been well documented in a million other songs, but it captures that feeling really well. And part of the way that it captures it is through just classic disco vibes. I don't know how else to put it. Disco was always kind of a wonderful sandwich of the new and the innovative and electronic and exciting, and something really deeply felt and organic. That's why disco worked so well. And this song remembers, this is my interpretation, this song kind of remembers what was exciting and wonderful about disco. She plays up and her producers play up the electronic aspects of the song. In fact, this is the song that is in music history put forth as the song that popularized autotune. And these are obviously manipulated vocals, and it's done very effectively at very specific points in the song. But it doesn't make the song sound robotic. It makes the song sound nostalgic almost. It gives it a sort of this intangible, this je ne sais quoi, this bittersweet longing quality that you wouldn't be able to get no matter who you were as a vocalist. You wouldn't be able to get that same effect. So it's not seen as a way of covering up her vocals. It's an effect. It's put in there for an effect. And then after the processed vocals that happened in the verse, you hear just Cher's natural voice coming through. And Cher has such an earthy, meaty, husky voice that's easily identifiable, but also really is conveys a lot of emotion. And her belting out the chorus of the song in her natural voice without the electronic fiddling comes across as much more bracing when you contrast it to the more electronically processed part that comes before it. So it's almost like a setup. It's almost like, you know, her voice is very visceral already, and by setting it up with something that's a lot more almost robotic sounding, then you can then it just really packs more of a wallop emotionally. So there's a little bit of kind of emotional push and pull happening here too with the way the song was arranged. I think it was really just a perfect storm of nostalgia, both from a musical history standpoint and from a personality standpoint, because Cher had at this point was a beloved icon that across at least 2 generations. And this song just completely blew up, and for good reason. So I have no issues with understanding why this was the biggest hit of 1999. It's kind of funny that this was also the year that Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera came out, and there was the Backstreet Boys. There was that whole teen invasion that was happening right around this time, maybe later, Amir. But Cher ended up beating out all of the youngsters and having the biggest hit of the year. A little bit of generational revenge, I guess, for all of the hoopla that was going on around the other artists that were around at the time, and Cher just waltzes in and steals all their thunder. Not really. Those folks got plenty of attention, and they sold way more albums than Cher did. But in terms of a single, like, tentpole single for the year, this was definitely it. So it was good to revisit that song. Really quickly on the video, I think I'm going to have to watch the video again. I don't think I ever really sat down and watched the video when it was out. This is a song you more listen to on the dance floor. There's some things going on with the underlying storyline, and there's a sort of a supernatural or at least metaphysical type of thing going on in the music video, and I didn't quite get all of the nuances of what was going on there, so I may want to go back and revisit that. So I don't have a lot to comment on there. I was really just more taken with the song and hearing it again after, a few years of probably not ever like sitting down and listening to the whole thing. All right, so next time I'm not going to, as I said in the beginning, I'm not going to tie these videos to days of the week anymore. But our next installment in this series is going to be, of course, 1998, because we're working our way backwards. And that number one song of 1998 was, let me consult my notes, Too Close by Next. A pretty low-key, racy song that, again, sort of like Cher's song, came out of nowhere and captured everyone's imagination in the year of 1998. We'll listen to that one next time. Until then, if you liked this video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. That's what you're supposed to do. I was about to say share. If there's some way to, I guess I have share on the brain. Please subscribe to the channel if you feel so inclined, and please make music better.